Hello and welcome back to Live Laugh Lily Kincade. I'm so happy you're here. I am recording at my kitchen table right now because, I don't know, just because I felt like it. Today. I don't have too long of an episode, but it is something I feel like we all just could use a little refresher, a little reminder on, because, seasonal depression is coming in, the holidays are coming around, and I find that, especially with it getting darker so early, a lot of emotions can come up and you can feel really sad and you can just kind of feel overwhelmed with a lot of emotions and isolated. So now is the perfect time to talk about why and also how, and like a little step-by-step guide of feeling your emotions, good, bad, whatever, in between, because you must feel to heal. Let me say that one more time. You must feel if you want to heal. I am a queen of repressing emotions. It can be so easy to just forget about it, especially like in the summertime. You're busy, you're traveling, you're going out, you're partying, you're seeing friends, you're doing classes online, summer school, but you don't have a lot of time to think about them and process them. So you're like, oh, I'm fine. Christmas rolls around, the holidays roll around, you're alone, you're with family, you don't have a lot of obligations, it's dark early, you're in your room a lot crying. All these emotions can come up, and so I'm going to give you my little step-by-step guide on how I feel my emotions when they arise, so then that way they don't build up like they once did and, cause you to go into a mental breakdown. Anyways, okay. I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm so happy you're here. It can be, even myself included, like I was getting it's just kind of like, you can feel very isolated during the holidays, and I tend to feel really sad, and not all the time. Like I'm not a naturally sad person. I think inside I want to be. I think I'm naturally very positive. Like it's just my essence. Like I'm the sun. Like I'm sunshine. I don't know. I think that's just who I am, but I think I feel a lot. And so I'm so happy because I've been so sad, if that makes sense. Like I feel the whole spectrum, but that goes into feeling to healing. But anyways, to start off let me mute my phone. That was rude of me. Why was my phone on? To start off, podcast episode number 8, crazy that we're at number 8. I'm going to share with you some quotes that I found about this. I have a couple of them. I have a couple on my phone too. I have a lot. I couldn't pick just one. Okay, the first one, these two are just like kind of phrases / sayings that are really popular, and I couldn't find the source of these are anonymous. But the first one is, when you are willing to feel it, you can heal it. And that's kind of what I say, feel to heal. When you are willing to feel it, not feel it. You guys, I need to do this too. I have so many emotions that I have not been processing, and I feel like it's causing me to stutter. It's causing me to be a little crazy, but that's okay. When you are willing to feel it, you can heal it. It is true. When you are willing to to face the emotion and look it in its eye, it loses its power. It's like by hiding it and pretending it doesn't exist, you almost give this power to it. It's all of this mental thing. I'm going to go through it later, but it's crazy. During 2020, I read Brene Brown's book. Oh my God, what is it called? What is it called, you guys? It was amazing. Untamed, with the beautiful cover. And I think in there she was talking about, there was a little part of it about shame. And it's like when you voice something and you show it light, in a sense of like, if you hide a feeling or something you're going through a hard time, if you hide it in the darkness, it's just going to grow. But if you put light on it, if you tell a friend, if you are no longer afraid to, be vulnerable, it loses its power. And then, it doesn't mean anything anymore. So I just thought that was very telling and very true. Okay, the next one is, what you resist will persist. It's so true, you guys. What you avoid will haunt you. Similar to like, say for example, like your dishes. This is a really surface level example, but your dishes or your laundry, that pile, it's just going to keep piling up. And eventually you're going to have to do it. And then every time you walk in the kitchen, every time you walk through your closet, you're going to see the stack. And it's like, you can't even escape it. So what you resist will persist. Okay, let me find these. I took so many screenshots because I was like, oh, these are so good. Oh, this one's really good. Okay. It says, wait, let me find it. It's so good. Okay. This last quote I have for you guys is by Veronika Tolgaleva. I probably say that wrong, but Veronika Tolgaleva. And it is, emotional pain cannot kill you. but running from it can. Allow, embrace, let yourself feel, let yourself heal. I'm going to say that one more time because it was so good. Emotional pain cannot kill you, but running from it can. Allow, embrace, let yourself feel, let yourself heal. Period. And, like I said earlier, what you resist will persist. And it can be interesting. Like, I was somebody who never felt my feelings really ever. I would always just be really busy, or I would always just be so wrapped up in other people's feelings and other people's lives that I would never even sit with myself. And journaling for me really, don't mind my messy hair, journaling for me really helped. And I think 2 podcast episodes, I have a whole episode on how to journal, how to get started, why you should journal, with like 20 journal prompts. So go watch that. But journaling for me a couple years ago was the first time I really allowed myself to be aware that I was feeling my emotions. I was always feeling my emotions when I was writing, and I was a very creative person. I danced growing up. I still dance. I work out a lot. So I have ways of processing my emotions, but they weren't necessarily ways that my brain was like aware. Like, I could write a song about how I was feeling, but I was never able to like pinpoint the emotion, get down to the root of it and heal it, like totally heal it, until, I started journaling and becoming more aware and just growing and learning as a person and growing up. And I have a little list. There's about 6 things of whenever you're going through something, it can be a good emotion, it can be a bad emotion. This is my like not foolproof, because you know what? We all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Period. But this can just be good to have. I like to write. I have a list of this on my phone, of just like this little like checklist, and you can write this in your phone. You can write this on a piece of paper, put it on your desk. If you're studying, you can keep it in your car, whatever. Because sometimes I know for myself, when I'm in these big emotions, if I'm really hurt, if I'm really anxious, it can be so hard to get out of that. So having something that I can physically see, of like a checklist, just makes me feel a lot calmer. It makes me feel like I'm not going crazy and I'm not alone, because I'm just here to tell you that you are not alone. One, I always say, like, everybody is so much more similar than we are different. It can be so easy to just automatically look at the differences between people, but we're so similar. We are all humans. We all have 24 hours in a day. We are all experiencing this life together. We are so much more similar. And even with my music, like, I started writing songs just because I couldn't even articulate the emotion that I had. And even by that, seeing how they resonate with you, it makes me feel less alone. Like, we are in this together. And I'm going to use, like, at my funeral as an example of how I process like an emotion. That was right when I probably started really discovering this little method, was around the time I wrote that song, which was coincidentally like about 3 years ago, like exactly almost 3 years ago, which is wild. Anyways, okay, let's get into it, you guys. Let's get into it. I love you guys, my little like 10 people who are on here. I just wanted you to know that I love you so much. Like, you have no idea. I'm also getting like kind of hot, you guys. I'm getting kind of hot. Okay. Step 1. Whenever you're feeling something, I want you to name the emotion. You're like, Lily, like, what do you mean name the emotion? Like give it like a name. No, like, identify what emotion it is you're feeling. Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it nervous? Is it excited? Is it shameful? Is it scared? Is it guilt? Name what it is. I often find it's very helpful. You can keep a list in your screenshots. You can, keep a list of common emotions that you feel in your phone. There's also something that I use a lot when I'm writing, and I think a lot of therapists use it too. Oh, you guys, my hair is like rat's nested. Do not, if you're watching the video version, it's fine. It's messy. It's casual. But there's this thing, you can Google it. It's called the emotion wheel. I highly recommend that you print one off. You can put it in your journal. You can put it in your bathroom. You can put it wherever, your desk, your fridge. But it's called emotion wheel, or wheel of emotions. And it's super cool because basically, I'll show you I don't know if you can see it. You can kind of see it. But basically, it is a wheel that goes from like the inside of it is the most basic form of the emotion, and then outwardly it breaks down to more niche and specific. And I challenge you, when you're doing step 1, which is like naming and identifying the emotion, you need to get as specific as possible. I know you don't want to get specific as possible. At this point, you're not even going to want to be feeling this, but I promise you, if you do this, you are going to feel 10 times better, and you're going to be able to heal and move on. You're going to heal because you're going to feel it. So the first step is like really pick that emotion. Like, say for example, we're just going to have a fake scenario. Okay. So say I was feeling really sad. Oh my God, this is like really sad. Okay, so I know you pick one from the inner circle. So like the options are surprised, bad, fearful, angry, disgusted, sad, happy. So I'm gonna pick sad, and then I'm gonna go into the a little bit more detailed, and it's hurt, depressed, guilty, despair, vulnerable, lonely. I could say I'm hurt, and then I go into the next one, and it's like out of the two, embarrassed or disappointed. I would say I'm hurt because I'm disappointed. Because I'm a little bit embarrassed because I let a boy hurt my feelings, and I'm just disappointed that disappointed in him, yes, but disappointed in myself. That's a fake scenario. Let me just tell you, there's been no boy that's been able to get to me, because I'm just, anytime someone disappoints me now, or anytime somebody tries to play me, I look at it and I'm like, it turns me off, and it makes me like, I used to love this needs to be a whole other podcast episode. I used to be like, oh my God, like I can get this person to like me. Like I would like people because I liked getting them to like me. Like I liked trying to get them to like me. And now I'm just like, oh, it turns me off when someone is like trying to play me or not putting in effort or treating me like I'm just like a pimp. No. Isn't that crazy? But like, oh my God, Lily a couple years ago would be like, what the heck? Like I feel so confident now. Because I truly like no one, like you can't mess with me. Like it's not going to bother me. If anything, it just like, you look desperate. That was a side note. Anyways, okay, so the first step is to name the emotion. The emotion wheel is amazing. You can also just like on Pinterest find list of emotions, keep it, identify it. So pick it, write it down. And all of these steps, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, or you can speak it out to your computer. I know like I do this sometimes too. I do like video journals where sometimes I'll just like put on my phone or put on my photo booth, which is what I'm using right now to record this, and I'll just like speak it out because it kind of gets it out of your brain and like out of your mind thinking about it constantly and ruminating about it. So I will name the emotion. Step 2 is you're going to speak. That was step 2, by the way. Step 2 is speak it and write it out. So it'd be like, I'm feeling really disappointed right now because this happened, and name the scenario, or write it down. You guys know me. My journal's right here. I was journaling right before I filmed this episode. This journal's almost done. It's kind of bittersweet whenever I finish a journal, but it's really exciting because now I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what's going to fill the next journal. But speak about it, journal it out. If you don't want to journal, like this would be the time where you would tell a therapist, you can tell a really close friend that you trust, you can tell a parent, you can tell a teacher, anybody that you trust. Like step 2 is like, once you know what it is, you need to like tell somebody or tell yourself or write it down. Step 3, you're going to sit in the emotion within a given time frame. This is the thing that like changed my world, was give yourself a time frame. And I know you're like, Lily, like healing time. As you said, Lily, in the bridge of your amazing song, 3 months, time doesn't mean anything to the heart. That is true. And because time doesn't mean anything to the heart, it could be infinite. But you have to give yourself parameters, because otherwise you're never going to get anywhere. In a sense of like, say I'm feeling really disappointed. I'm going to let myself I'm going to give myself a time limit. Say it's going to be 1 week. Or if it's something bigger, like say you just went through a breakup with somebody you were dating for a long time, give yourself a month. Give yourself a month to not even think about dating again, not even think about whatever, but give yourself a month and be like, I'm going to let myself sit in this and be really sad for a month. I'm going to let myself cry every day. I'm going to let myself watch sad movies. I'm going to let myself look at our old pictures for a month. Put it in your calendar. Like get a notification that's like, okay, tomorrow it's done, and be done with it. Oftentimes, like I'll be like, okay, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes to just like be really angry at this person and write out how angry I am and like play Karma by Taylor Swift blasting. Give yourself a time limit to really just feel it, because I promise you, it's like, it sounds crazy, but if you give yourself a time limit, it changes everything, because you no longer like, I used to feel like, oh my God, like when am I going to start crying? Like, and I would have this fear of like, when is that emotion going to sneak up on me? It's almost like you're taking charge of it. You're being like the boss, as you are, and you are like, the emotion, I'm on top of it. I'm on top of you. Like you're going to get it all out in one situation, whether that be like, you know, I'm going to give myself the weekend to just ugly cry and be sad and talk about how much I hate this person. And then I'm going to be done, because then I'm going to move on and get it all out. So I would say step 3 is to sit in the emotion within a time limit. That is the most important part, within a time limit, because you are too beautiful. And I promise you that like, it's not going to last forever. And so if you keep dragging it on, it's going to feel like it's going to last forever, and you're going to waste so much time. And one day you're going to look back and be like, why did I waste so much time thinking about that person who hurt me? Like, honestly, it was a blessing in disguise. So give yourself a time limit and then just force yourself to move on. Of course, emotions come in waves, and you're still going to feel that again, but the original like big feeling of it, give it a time limit, okay? The next step number 4, or the next step, if you lost count, the next step is to release the emotion. This is one of my favorite things ever because you can get creative with this. For me, one of my favorite ways is obviously to write a song. That's just the curse of being a songwriter. I never chose to be a songwriter. Songwriting chose me. But it can be any form of creative outlet can be used to release it. You can write poetry, you can paint your emotions, you can write a letter and burn it. That's one of my favorite things because it feels like witchy, but I love that. But I'm too sentimental. I never can burn the letters. I never can burn the letters because I'm like, oh my God, I want to read this and read how sad I was. I'm like, why? Sometimes I do occasionally burn the letters, but I usually take a picture of it first. But I don't send it to them. Don't send it to them. But just some sort of like creative release to release the emotion. And like, you don't even have to tell anybody, but like, it could just be something you normally do. Like I'm a runner. That's so weird to say. I started running like a year and a half ago. I love running. The endorphins you get from running are crazy. And I also just love it. It's like the time I think a lot when I run and when I drive, but like it could be something you do often. But like, I want you to give intention to doing it to release the emotion. Like if I'm going on a run and I'm like, I'm going to release the heartbreak I'm feeling from this person, I'm going to listen to songs that make me feel really good or really sad songs. And I'm going to like intentionally, like right before I start running, I'm going to be like, you know what, this is to let all those emotions go. And if I cry, that's okay. But like, this is me letting those emotions go, and like making it intentional is really good. You can also like write with Sharpie on a plate, and you can break the plate, anything, but just do something to release it. And even if it's like a physical thing of like, okay, I'm going to go through and throw out all of these things that remind me of that era or remind me of that person or remind me of that emotion that I don't want to feel. Cleanse. Oftentimes physically cleaning too can help, but some sort of physicality element is essential because emotions, like, yes, emotions is like an abstract thing, like it's something we feel, but also like you have to pair it with the physical aspects in order to fully heal. The next step number 5 is identify. Why am I talking in I think I want to do a whole podcast episode trying to talk in my British accent, you guys, because I love my British Kincadians, and I've never even been to the UK. I've never even been to London, but I cannot wait for the day because I love you guys' accents so much, and I can't wait to play a sold out show there, and I just can't wait for you guys to be my tour guides. Like, really, I'm so excited. I love you guys so much. Okay. This is so embarrassing. I love this. I love doing my podcast because like no one watches this except for you guys, and it's so fun because I can, I can just be me. I can be authentically Lily, you know? Okay, the next step is to identify what the emotion was trying to tell you, / maybe what it was saying that you were missing in your life. This was kind of interesting because oftentimes you're like, well, this person just hurt me. It wasn't trying to tell me something. Yeah, but the emotion isn't that person hurting you. The emotion is telling you something that is going to like, is telling you what you need to do from it, if that makes sense. For example, okay, we'll talk about At My Funeral because I was mentioning that how I wrote that song about 3 years ago. So I wrote that song after literally having little mental breakdowns, staying up all night, and I had this like anxiety that I targeted, this anxiety of this fear of like, oh my gosh, like everyone's forgetting about me. It was like this anxiety of being forgotten and being like nobody, like if I stopped reaching out to my friends, they wouldn't reach out to me. So I targeted it down. I ended up, writing it out, physically writing the song at my funeral. But that emotion, it was telling me, it was this anxiety, this feel of being forgotten. That was like what it was. But what it was telling me was that, you know what, maybe like, what is this emotion trying to tell me? It's trying to tell me that I don't feel secure in my friendships. I don't feel secure in a lot of things because if I felt secure in those, I wouldn't have that anxiety that they're going to forget me because that's an irrational thought. And yes, guess what? We are not our feelings. So you're allowed to feel crazy things. Your feelings aren't going to make sense because they should be abstract. They should be irrational sometimes, not all the time. If they are all the time, maybe you need to go to a doctor because, we're supposed to be pretty good. And so I could identify that. And then I was able to either be like, give myself evidence to, you know what, this friendship is so secure. I saw this person yesterday. Like this person regularly communicates with me, is a really respectful friend, is showing up to my events, is supporting me. That's an irrational thought. And then I was like, or I could find evidence of like, you know what, this thought is valid because this person, I'm always the one to reach out first for plans. So that is a valid thought. Lily, you're allowed to have that about this person, but really targeting it down and figuring out what it's trying to tell you is really good. Like, does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. As always, you can leave me questions on my Instagram DMs or below in like the comments or the like Q&A section. of my podcast. It's crazy I have a podcast. Live, laugh, really Kincade, you guys. Anyways, okay. The next one. And it can also show you what you're missing in a sense of like, say I felt really, you felt really, I don't know if anybody in my life is there for me. Maybe it's a sign that like what I'm needing in this next season of my life is really good, close friendships, or I'm needing some alone time if I'm feeling overwhelmed with school and all these things. Like it can help you, if like the opposite of it can help you and tell you what you are needing in life, if that makes sense. Okay, the next step is identify what you can learn from it and take with you to this next season and take with you to this new chapter. And this can sometimes be hard when you're in it, but by the time you've gotten to this point, it's been a little bit of time, you've had time to process, to release, to let go, like you're at a more stable, neutral place. Identify what you can learn from it and the skills you're going to take. Like for example, without my funeral, I learned that I love, regularly communicating and checking in with my friends, and I love making plans. I'm a planner. I've tried to be a go with the flow girly. I'm not a go with the flow girly. I'm a spontaneous girly, but I'm not a go with I don't know. I'm spontaneous within a time frame, if that makes sense. Like I don't care what we do, but like I like to have it on my calendar. Okay, we're going to hang out, like say with my friends. My friends and I learned from the situation, I was like, I like to have something to look forward to with my friends. Even if it's in a month, I want it to be like, okay, we're going to hang out regularly. Like this every month on this day, we're going to like go to the park and get dinner. And it's like it's a regular thing you have to look forward to. So that person doesn't hate me, whatever. But I also I'm a planner. I don't care what it is I do, but I was like, I'm somebody who likes to plan. And it gives me, we could be watching Netflix, we could be going out, it doesn't matter to me. But I'm somebody who likes to plan. And I kind of took that with me. And now in my friendships, I'm a planner. And you know what? Somebody's going to have to be the one to plan. So it might as well be you. So that's kind of like something, or, if it was a relationship, you can identify, okay, what were the things I lacked in that relationship? Like what were the qualities I was hoping for in a partner, or like the things I was giving, but it wasn't getting back that I needed. Maybe it's, I need more support. I need more words of affirmation. I want somebody who's going to send me a good morning text, whatever it is. Like you're allowed to want things and let those emotions tell you what it is and take that into this new stage of your life. Okay. The next one is create a POA. I'm going to get my computer charger. It's on the floor because my computer's about to die. The next step is create a POA, a POA. I love saying plan of action. Plan of actions to me are awesome. So basically, there we go. A plan of action is like a war map. It's a game plan for what you're going to do the next time this specific emotion arises again. Because you know what? We're going to feel a lot of emotions in our life. And honestly, I just think about it. Every emotion I feel, like I love feeling emotions. I can't wait to feel so many like new emotions. I'm so excited. I'm like, what am I going to feel? I don't know. Who's going to be the next one to break my heart? I don't know. But the next time you feel this same emotion again, you've already tackled it. You know exactly what to do whenever you feel really anxious. You know exactly what to do when you feel very disappointed. You have a game plan. You have a POA. So to make a POA, you're basically going to write down, if I say it was like a heartbreak with this person, like that specific person, you're going to write down, what am I going to do if I see this person again? What am I going to do if I feel lonely again? What am I going to do if I feel really anxious again? In terms of like at my funeral, I felt very anxious and lonely. And I have a plan of action now whenever I get that feeling creeping up again, which can happen. It happened recently and it is not logical. Like I have really close friends in my life. It's not logical, but emotions aren't logical. We are not our feelings. So that's okay. But I have a plan of action of like things I like to do. For example, whenever I start to feel that way, I will either I love going for a walk. I love going for a walk. It clears my mind and listening to my favorite music. I love to text a friend I haven't heard from in a long time, or like one of those like kind of long distance friends that you see once a while, but like you always have those deep conversations. I love to cook my favorite meal. I love cooking. I think like doing anything that focuses back on myself whenever you feel lonely is really good to get yourself centered. I love reading a book, and I have all these tools in my arsenal. I have all these tools that I can, pull up next time I feel that, and while I let that emotion pass, if that makes sense. Okay, the next one. That's kind of it. But the last like little point I have is just like a reminder for you. And it's that, at the end of the day, you are not your feelings. You are not your feelings. You are not your feelings. You're not a bad person because you're mad at somebody. Like you're not your feelings. That's it. And I think I needed to hear that for a long time because I felt guilty. I felt so much shame for being like, I feel so anxious. Like, oh, I shouldn't feel like this. Like my life is so good. I have people around me. Why do I feel like this? That was only making the problem worse because I wasn't allowing myself to feel. So I couldn't heal. Look, we're tying it all up. But it's true. And you are not your feelings. You're allowed to feel your feelings. They don't have to make sense logically, okay? That's why they're feelings. That's why they're not facts. But you are not your feelings, and just remind yourself that. Anytime you're having a hard time, just be like, these are just feelings. This is not who I am. This is just a feeling. It's going to pass. And I think that's just a good reminder. Anyways, this was like a deep episode. This was really deep. This was a deep episode. I love you guys so much. I hope that helped a little bit. If you have any questions, as always, DM me, respond in the comments in the Q&A box. But I love you guys. I'm excited for these future episodes. Please let me know what you want me to do. I'm thinking about doing like an Ask Lily probably next. Maybe a holiday, maybe a vision board, end of the year thing. I don't know. I'm also working on the new music. You guys know it's taking a little bit longer than expected, but you know what? I'm not going to rush it because everything works on God's timing, and you're right where you need to be for a reason. As long as you are being proactive and putting in the work, you're good. Put in the work and keep going and keep doing you, and all those opportunities are going to align and are going to like come into your life right when they're supposed to. So I love you guys, but I hope you guys are liking Winter Coat and Historic, and it's the first holiday season you guys have had with 3 months. Thought we'd make it to Christmas, burn out with the lights and go down with the snow. Our last kiss could be under the mistletoe. We'd be drunk and be laughing. It's dramatic. I know. Maybe that's why I won't let us fade, because we never made our way through the holidays. Look how much damage 3 months can do. It's almost December. Isn't that crazy? That was one of the original lyrics I had, because I wrote this song in November, December 2 years ago. And the original lyric that I had when I was like coming up with the idea was, it's almost December. Like, it's almost December. There's still salt in my wounds, like from swimming in the summer. And then I was like, not crazy. Yeah, you should watch the video over on my YouTube. That's like the songwriting process of 3 months. It's a 30-minute video with literally, you can hear that lyric. You'll hear screen recordings of my voice memos and photos and videos, whatever. Anyways, I love you guys. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review, and I will see you later. Let's say our affirmation. Ready? Today is a wonderful day. I'm confident because I am a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. One more time in my American accent. Ready? Today is a wonderful day. I am confident because I am a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. And I will stream Lily Kincade because she is my new favorite, new favorite up-and-coming international superstar. And I love her so much. And I'm her VIP listener, OG Kincadian. Period. Thank you guys for giving me the space to be myself. In all my craziness, I love you. Kisses, and I will talk to you next week.